All the best, and we're looking forward to your presentation.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for your kind introduction. I will be presenting the. So, good morning, everybody. Thanks to IPI Chennai chapter for giving us an opportunity to present on the topic coloring of engineering thermoplastic. The brief contents of our topic is the brief contents of our discussions is introduction of basic introduction to the color measurements, visual assessments, instrument measurement, coloring challenges, customer expectation on coloring, and Suzlon Polymers expertise on solution. Performance material for engineering applications is ever growing. Performance in terms of lightweighting solutions, superconducting, heat dissipating, 3D printable materials are just few in the list. Meeting the performance requirements with novel materials is always a challenging. With the help of advancements in nanomaterials, hybrid composites, blending and all technology of polymer provided solutions to these demanding applications. In fact, plastics, which were once seen as the material of choice for many of the design applications by the designers. So coloring of the plastics is one of the key requirements from the industry. It is a necessary from both aesthetic and functional aspect of the part. The advantage of the plastic over the other materials like wood, metal, and ceramics is its ability to produce molded in color parts, which help in elimination of secondary coloring operation and reduce the managed. It may result in significant rejections of the part, leading to the part cost high. Hence, coloring is one of the key parameters, just like dimensions and other properties, which needs to be closely monitored and controlled during the manufacturing process. By the way, what is the color? Color is a perception of the human eye, which allows to distinguish the objects. It is basically caused by the interaction of the object with the electromagnetic spectra in the visible region, that is in the wavelength region of 360 to 780 nanometers. We all know these experiments when a white light is passed through a prism, the light gets dispersed into different colors. We call it as a rainbow colors. These rainbow colors will have a characteristic band in the visible region from 360 is called as a UV, and all above 780 this is called as IR radiation, which is not perceivable by the human eye. So a white light, we know it is a consists of like a mixture of all the colors in these regions, these wavelength regions. So how does an object appear colorful? An object appears colorful due to its characteristics of predominantly absorbing or reflecting particular wavelengths of the light in the visible region. For example, when a red object is illuminated with a light light, the object predominantly reflects the wavelengths in the red region and absorbs all other wavelengths. Suppose if the object is transparent, then the color of the object. A white object appears white because it reflects all the wavelengths in that visible region, while a black object appears black since it absorbs all the wavelengths in this. The light source is very important in characterizing the color. If a green light is illuminated on a red light, all the light gets absorbed by the object and the object appears to be black. Since the source of light does not contain the spectrum of in the red region to in the green region too, so all the light gets absorbed and if the same red light is illuminated on the white object, the object appears to be red since the object reflects only red light in the spectrum. So how do we coming to the part of the color measurements? Color can be assessed both visually and measured instrumentally. The basic requirements to assess the color is the standard light source, object, and an observer. As we said, color is a matter of perception. The color can be described in basically with the three terms called as hue, lightness, and the saturation. Hue is the term which refers to the common sense of colors like primary colors, which we call it as red, green, and blue. While the saturation refers to the how pure or intense a hue is. You can see the color which is in the second row of the saturation is more slightly less duller compared to the 100% saturation saturated color, which is brighter. And the second, the lightness is the term used to how bright a color is. For example, if it is a dark or a lighter shade or a whiter shade, that can be expressed in the terms of the lightness. Any color can be described best through these three attributes. Common in of the every day-to-day applications, because the human eye is involved in selecting the colors. So there are basically international standards which guides how the color can be measured. The best way of visual assessment of the color is to evaluate the color in a color booth or a color room. The color cabinet should be equipped with elements like D65, CWF, and TL84, which simulates the average daylights and the cool white fluorescent lights, which can be various lights which the product can be viewed in the normal life. The cabinet should be painted in a neutral gray color to avoid any distractions, 4 degrees and 45 degrees. Some of the basic tips to how a visual assessment of the colors can be done is through the keep the color booth and the illuminants clean and dust free. The interference of the dust or dullness in the light illuminant can cause a color variation. Color can be misperceived. Do not keep any other article or objects in the color booth which may distract the eye. Keeping a high saturated colors may distract the eye and our perceptions may go wrong while assessing the color. Keep the sample side by side, same texture, because the different in texture can perceive because of the change in the textures. If you are comparing the different color shades, start with the lighter shades and then go for a saturated colors. The moment we see saturated colors, our eyes get more strained, and hence we have to start with the lower, less saturated colors, the lighter shades, and then we have to go for the more saturated colors. Do not view the color shades continuously. Take a break in between to provide a rest to your eyes. Compare the color standards and the samples with more than one light. Sometimes the metamerism in colorants can result in color mismatch. What is metamerism? Metamerism is a phenomenon where the color of the two parts matches under one set of observer and light source condition, but appears to be different when observer or a light source change. There are three major types of metamerism encountered in the plastics. First is the observer metamerism, which is caused by because of the different level of perceptions by the eye receives the similar reflected light from the object at an angle of 2 degrees from which is around the fovea of the eyes. Around the fovea of 2 degrees, there will be a color receptor cells called rods and cones, which receives the reflected light and sends a neural signals to the brain to recognize the colors. Nowadays, it is earlier it was when the CIA has established the observer, it was 2 degrees. Now later after in 1975, we discovered that the distribution of these cells, rods and cones around 10 degrees of the fovea. That means the object reflected from the light reflected from the object, they are also standardized for 10-degree observer. So visual field metamerism, which is caused due to the change in the visual field or a viewing angle. And the light source metamerism, which is caused when the part are viewed in a different light source, having a different spectral composition. As I said in the earlier slide, the source of the light dictates how the color is appeared to be perceived by the individuals. Instrument measurements are being done to avoid some of the anomalies in the visual perception. Here the colors have been quantified based on the same three parameters like lightness, hue, and chroma. Measurement principles are done through spectrophotometer is the instrument used to measure the color of an object. Measurements of colors are commonly done on two scales, under LAB and CIA L-star A-star B-star scales. The measurements is based on the 3-component color theory. According to the eye processes receptors only for the 3 primary colors: red, green, and blue. All the So the color of any object is described by using the tri-stimulus color values related to these 3 primary colors, X, Y, Z, we call it as. The tri-stimulus X, Y, Z are calculated from the reflectance spectra of the object. That is how, which are all the wavelengths, to what extent the object reflects. Against the wavelength, it will be a spectra is plotted, which we call it as a reflectance spectra. Since the tri-stimulus values are not easily perceivable to visualize the colors, they are converted into 3-dimensional L, A, and B values. Both Hunter Lab and CIE uses the principle of opponent color theory. That is, red and green are opposite colors, and blue and yellow are opposite colors. This is how the color is been depicted in the 3-dimensional coordinate system. If a vertical line will be representing the lightness of the color, as the L value, we represent that as a L values. The L value is equal to 0 means the object is perfectly black, and L value is equal to 100 means it is a object is perfectly white. That means it is 100%, it is reflecting all the wavelengths of the light. But in practical encounter, we don't find such an object like L equal to 100 or L equal to 0. Normally above 50 L value rises from 50 above, it will be on the lighter shades. As L values goes below the 50, L value equal to less than 50, it will be like a darker shades, we call it. Similarly, the A values dictates A positive indicates the sample has a redder shade, and A negative indicates the sample has a greener shade. So suppose any color, if you have a LAB values which has been depicted, A negative value, we can immediately perceive that this is a green shade like that. So B positive again indicates the sample is an yellower shade, and B negative indicates the sample in bluer shades. So if you can see the color, the visualization of the color on the first quadrant of this thing, which is a reddish and yellowish shade, while the color 2 is having a bluish and greenish shade. So instrument measurements of the operating principle is that light from an illuminant of known spectrum in the visible region is passed on the object at a constant angle. The object reflects and absorbs the spectrum at a different wavelength depending on its color. The amount of light reflected from the object is then passed through the grating, which splits the light into different wavelengths. Reflectance is then plotted as a reflectance of the object. The reflectance spectra obtained is then processed to calculate the tri-stimulus XYZ values of the sample for the standard observer at 2 degrees and or 10 degrees, depending on the requirements. These are all some of the illuminants which are used in the color measurements, both in the color booth as well as in the instrument. Illuminant A, which is normally color description, which is like incandescent light. Illuminant D65 is a moderately blue color, and it represents the average daylight of the noon sky. Illuminant D50 is the white, which is a noon skylight, which are all normal every day we can encounter this type of illuminants. Illuminant D75 represents north sky daylight, and it is a moderately deep blue. So, and the latest illuminants are includes cool white fluorescence, warm white fluorescence, and also TL84, which is used for the showcasing in light, objects in the light, in the shops and other things. Now even LED lights are also standardized in the latest. D65 represents the average daylight which is commonly used light source for color measurements. It is a specified daylight source in ASTM and SAE standards. D50 represents the average noon skylight, which is a specified source as per ISO 3664 2009 standard. Of course, softwares are available to convert the measurement from one light source to the other source, and also calculate the metamerism due to the change in the color, change in the light source. So understanding the color difference. Difference between the color of the two objects or samples can be expressed numerically in a single term as delta E stars and delta E CMC. These are the two different set of measurements, the standards and samples. Color difference is calculated by subtracting the color values of the master with that of the sample and leading to the delta L, delta S. Delta E between the two shades is expressed as a single numeric value as delta E star is equal to square root of delta L whole square, delta A whole square, and delta B whole square. This is a theoretical calculation. How nowadays the software can automatically throw you the values of delta E star and delta E sim. So the moment once it measures the standard and the samples. Delta E star is more of a rectangular space around the standard, whereas delta E CMC represents more of the elliptical color space around the standard. How the overall deviations will be assessed based on the rectangular or elliptical of the different elliptical difference between the object and the standard and the sample. This is the normal color report. Here we have measured the color of value of a signal yellow of the standard, which is normally nearest RAL shade is RAL 1003. Signal yellow has a L value of 77.05, A value has plus 20.15, and B value has B 71.82. We can see that the L value is above 50 and having a, as it approaches to the nearer 100 scale. So the shade of the color is lighter, and A is positive, which represent it is a yellow red shade, while B is 71, which says it is a high saturated with yellow. So the typical shade can be viewed as the lighter, redder, and the yellower. Against it, we have fiber matching to this signal yellow color, which is an ROHS compliant material. We have been able to achieve the delta is sort of less than 0.5 as against the industry standard requirements of less than 0.1, less than 1. And delta E CMC is also less than 0.18. So it is a very close match, as you can see the visually between the standard and the samples, which has been represented. So delta L, if it is a positive, then it is a lighter shade. Delta A is negative, then it will be blue, greener shade. And delta B, if it is in a negative, it will be on the bluer shade. So we can say that the match is slightly lighter compared to the standard, and blue is almost matching to the standard. Yellow is almost matching to the standard. So this is how the normal color reports. Coming to the coloring challenges for the engineering thermoplastic. Engineering thermoplastics has the unique requirements when it comes to the coloring. Some of the challenges when we encounter during the coloring of the engineering thermoplastics is the basic thing is the thermal stability of the colorants. The stability of the color should be such that it should withstand the stringent high temperature processing conditions which engineering plastics normally undergoes. Chemical compatibility with polymers is one of the important. The pigment chemistry and the polymer should not be reactive, and at least it should not react negatively. At least it should be in a neutral would be the preferable one. Then weatherability of the pigments and the polymers, because when articles are put into the use under stringent weathering condition, normally the polymers and pigments try to get deteriorated. So the life of the object or the part will come down. So hence it is important to have the weatherability of the pigment should be very high. Addition of the fillers like glass fiber, mineral fillers, etc. will add to the will reduce the saturation levels of the color to be achieved. Hence that also has to be considered while formulating the color. Additives added to achieve the functionality like flame retardancy and antistatic properties, conductivity, lubrications, all contribute to the saturations and shade achievements in the color. So we need to have a careful choice of the pigments which can withstand all these and still provide a good saturation levels. Processing conditions, component damage, geometry, texture, gate designs, weld line formations, warpage issues. Sometimes the color when it is been molded in the standard flakes matches very closely, but because of the geometry and the weld lines which is appearing on the component, the color tends to have a different deviation compared to the masters sometimes. So we need to consider the geometry of the color, texture, and the gate designs where at least the gate design should be avoided near the edge surface of the article. So color harmony with heterogeneous parts like metal, wood, and fabrics in assemblies. Normally the color plastic parts goes as an assembly with the metals and wood and the other like especially fabrics in the automotives. The glass levels will be of different level of plastics as well as the fabrics. So normally when you have like when you are matching the making an assembly with the fabric and the plastic board, there could be sometimes a mismatch can happen between because of the gloss levels and this thing and the color may when you make an assembly it will not be having a uniform color. So which we call it as a color harmony, which needs to be addressed while considering the color. Transparent and translucent colors are one of the important things which goes for the applications. While considering the transparent and translucent pigment selection plays an important criteria, coupling with the thermal stability and the chemical compatibility. Metamerism due to geometry and source of it, which we discussed in the color harmony. And statutory and regulatory compliances. This is also one of the important things which I have to consider because some of the metal oxide pigment, metal Europe and USA, like cadmium-based pigments, lead and mercury and hexavalent chromiums, which are all quite used in the industries for coloring. It is not acceptable in either in the electronic industries or in the automotive industries. So these are all some of the challenges which happens. Coming to the customer expectations on this, the color has to be made. The customer expectation is the color has to be matched accurately and quickly. The color has to be matched as closely as possible, like delta E of even though delta E now less than 1 is universally acceptable. The customer expects to match the level to the level of delta E or less than 0.5. Because the idea is to have the as close match as possible is the key. Should have the colors are assumed because of the difference in gloss levels of the components. This could be due to the different types of the materials like wood, ceramic, etc. Mismatch can happen even with the different polymers and blends composites are used. For example, a typical sun visor assembly is made of 4 different materials like PP mineral filler, nylon 6 glass fiber, polyacetal and ABS. Each will have its own different gloss levels and the textures also. So the color has, when we made an assembly, the color has to be, it should be in very harmony and show a uniformity. And also it should be uniform with the fabric of the roof. That is the expectation from the customer. Consistency from the lot to lot. Yes, the lot to lot consistency is very important as the customer buys in batches of the plastic material or a pre-compounded material. And his continuity has to, of the lots has to be, and the uniformity of the color should be ensured. To ensure the continuity of the supply of the parts and assemblies and avoid mismatch of the assembly parts. For example, if you have molded a part in a earlier batch and the latest batch which you have received could have a difference, even a slight difference when you make an assembly color region. So this consistency is one of from lot to lot is one of the key requirements from the customers. Minimal effect on other properties is important. Another important thing. The color acts as a contaminant and has a negative effect on the compound properties like mechanical, thermal, and rheological and flame characteristics. We should have a very good weather resistance. The color has to last long. Plastics tends to embrittle, fade, or changes when it is put into the service conditions. Like yellowing can happen when get exposed to the weather during the usage. The action of UV light, humidity, and temperature together causes this effect on the plastic. The expectation from the colorant is to should not fade off or decolor during the service of the part. Ease of processing is another customer expectation. The processing of the colored product should be user friendly. When you are using it for processing a pre-colored material, it should be user friendly and should provide a wide processing window for processing the part. Because there should not be any rejection on account of the coloring of this. Statutory and regulatory requirements is one of all levels. I think it's a very basic fundamental requirement for any coloring applications. The colorant should be compliant to the European standard regulations like RoHS, V and REACH, ELV, GIDS. The colorants can be one of the source for this element, as you said, the usage of heavy metal pigments from cadmium, lead, and mercury, and hexavalent chromium, which are classified as hazardous under RoHS directives. The pigment made out of these metal complexes are very attractive because of their outstanding performance in terms of thermal stability and consistency, and also low cost. So Sundaram Polymers has expertise coloring solutions for the engineering thermoplastics. We provide an accurate color match to quickly. A wide range of colorants are available in our inventory, which are used to produce state-of-the-art color matching instrument with more than 2,000 shades available across the wide range of polymers like nylons, ABS, polyestols, polycarbonates, PBT, PP, and the alloys of nylon with ABS alloys, PC, PBT alloys. These are all some of the alloys where we are pre-colored materials we have been able to supply consistency. We have a dedicated compounding line and molding machines to produce small batches quickly with accurate match. BIL SPD has a capability to produce the color compounds under strict process control conditions. The control on the quality of the incoming raw materials like base polymer and colorants are established. The quality checks are done periodically with the first half approval done both instrumentally and visual judgment. Upper and lower controls on the run chart for individual parameters of LAB are ensured. Additionally, our customers are assured of the color consistency in quality with the color swatch supplied along with the color report for each supplied lots. Ensuring the color harmony among the assembly parts, we are offering a one-stop solution for coloring, having various engineering thermoplastics in our product range. With a close coordination with OEMs, we achieve color harmony with among the various polymers, different class of polymers when it is been assembled. Minimal effect on other properties like mechanical and thermal properties. With the range of pigments and the master batches available in the inventory, color match will be done with the expert choice of the pigments to ensure minimal effect on these properties. Also to ensure the dosage of the colorants as minimal as possible to avoid any side effects on these properties. Should have a very good weather fastness. To protect the polymer, usually thermal and UV stabilizers are added, while to avoid the color change and fading of the choice of the pigments plays a crucial role. The pigment with the light fastness of 7 or 8 are selected for coloring. Pigment performances are rated on by the light fastness scale of 1 to 8. You can see the picture where the difference between the light fastness of rating 1 and the 8. Normally we use a grade of 7 and 8, which can withstand the weather condition and even stringent for the long lasting also. You can see the light rating of 1 has a complete change in the color. While when you will see the rating scale of V8, it is almost there is no change in the color of when it compares to blue normal comparisons. Ease of processing is another requirement from the customer, where BIL SPD technical service engineers with the customers visit the customers during the trial and pilot batches supplies and help them to optimize the process parameters to ensure the component qualities are met as per their established standard. The statutory and regulatory requirements of the colors used by the BIL SPD are compliant to ROHS, and the thermal stability and the color consistency of the pigments are ensured to meet the processing requirements of the molder. So these are some of the product range in our portfolio. We basically have polyamides in plastic, which are glass fiber reinforced, heat reinforced, mineral reinforced. We produce flame retardant grades with halogenated and non-halogenated flame retardants, heat stabilized grades. Our flame retardant grades have both REACH compliant. Heat stabilized and lubricated grades like lubricated with molybdenum sulfides, PTFE or silicones. Unfilled grades also with exceptional UV stabilizations and brilliant colors with excellent chemical and abrasion resistance are there in our product portfolio. Some of the applications of the nylons goes to the electrical applications such as miniature circuit breakers, pole connectors, LCB connectors, arc chambers, pulsator pulley wheels. Automotive applications such as F4 body cover plates will be some of our product ranges will goes to that. Similarly, we have in polycarbonate range as unfilled glass fiber or glass bead reinforced, of course, flame retardant grade, and more important, we have a different on PCA PDS alloys also. PCASA also we have in our range with various UV stabilizers and flame retardant we can produce. The flame retardant grades again here halogenated as well as non-halogenated flame retardants are available. Electrical applications such as energy meter, automotive applications such as filter body miniature circuit switches, etc. are being used for this application, these products. PBT and PET Of course, we have all flame retardant, heat stabilized, and unfilled and glass filled reinforcements, which majority goes for the automotive applications like ignition and carburetor parts. Polypropylene is
Srinivas,
glass fiber reinforced. Well, sorry.
we have 2 more minutes left for your
Yes.
presentation. So
I will
because we
complete
need to
this.
keep up for the next speaker.
Fine. Glass fiber reinforcement, the reinforced mineral filled impact modified flame retardant UV resistant grades are available in polypropylene. Even in polymer, polyethylene polyesters, we have a glass fiber, and especially UV stabilized grades are available for it. You can meet the automotive applications, automotive standards, weatherability conditions. So the alloys, as we said, PS, PC, ABS, PS6 alloys, and nylon 6 alloys, which are all again UV stabilized and reinforced grades are available. Some of the product applications, our automotive goes to the automotive, white goods appliances, electrical and electronics, telecommunications, defense, and other engineering sectors. We have our unwavering commitment to our quality. The TPM has been adopted as a way of life in our organization. We are recipients of TPM awards in 2005 and 2007 for consistent categories. Our quality management systems are accredited to IATF and ISO. Environmental management systems are accredited to 14001 and occupational occupational health hazard, and also energy management certified in accordance with ISO standard. Developed this particular component has been used for the power tool applications, where we have two assembly ports, case filled and housing. It is basically nylon 6 with 30% glass fiber. The features of this is UV stabilized for 1000 hours. The another important thing is the color harmony. The parts are getting molded at two different modes, and when it is assembled, it should look a uniform. This is another in the nylon 6 category. So nylon 6 glass fiber reinforced for category. We have two different colors like green and blue for automotive fuel cap, radiator fuel caps. It is basically a glycol resistant grades. So this is one of the combination of the components we supply for reinforced with the FR grades, with non-halogenated FR grade for electrical application with different colors like blue, pink, and red. So it has been made assembly as a single switch from our customer. This goes for an electrical hazard activator assemblies. This is the PC ABS alloy, which is used for seat garnish application. The basic few feature is that consistency of the red and background color is red and brown. The application is for the seat garnish. The key feature is that it is hydrographically painted. Texture painting has been done on this. The key requirement is the alloy should have a molded part should have a color consistency. Otherwise, the texture variations comes into play. This is the nylon 6 matching to the Pantone 200C shade. It has excellent UV stabilization outdoor. It is for automotive application. This is the laser marker. We have it in a black, blue, and different custom colors where we can mark any information on the parts using the laser beam. So we develop the colors, custom-based colors for laser marking with even blue, green, yellow, and other things. With the contrast colors of laser marking can be done on that. So this is basically laser marking as well as the heat stabilized grade. So this is some of our existing customer base. We supply to all automotive major OEMs and also auto electricals. So this is our contact information for inquiries. Thank you for your patience listening, sir.
So thank you very much. Nanda, you can hear me clearly?
Yeah, yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So very passionate and nice presentation, Mr. Srinivas. Obviously, time is something which is slightly against us, but great insight. Very tough.